For more than 6 centuries, the Ottoman Empire stood as one of the most powerful, feared, and wealthiest civilizations the world had ever seen. From the deserts of Arabia to the mountains of the Balkans, and from the golden cities of Anatolia to the shores of North Africa, the Ottomans ruled a vast and diverse world. But behind their military victories and grand architecture lies a deeper story. A story of wealth, trade, strategy, and economic brilliance. How did a small Turkic tribe, starting from a tiny frontier region in northwest Anatolia, rise to control some of the richest lands on Earth? How did they transform their empire into the financial heartbeat connecting Europe, Asia, and Africa? And what economic secrets allowed them to dominate global trade for centuries? In this video, we uncover the economic engine of the Ottomans and explore how the Ottoman Empire became one of the richest empires in the world. One of the greatest secrets behind the Ottoman Empire's rise to extraordinary wealth was its unmatched geographical position. The Ottomans controlled the land that connected Europe, Asia, and later North Africa, the very crossroads where ancient trade routes had passed for thousands of years. But everything changed dramatically in 1453, when the Ottomans conquered Constantinople, the most important city in the medieval world. Overnight, they gained full command over the Silk Road, the Black Sea trade routes, and the gateways leading into the Mediterranean. Every merchant, every camel caravan, every ship carrying silk, spices, gold, or precious goods from the east to the west had to pass through Ottoman territories and pay taxes, tolls, and customs fees. This meant that without fighting a single battle, the empire earned massive revenue simply by being the bridge between continents. The Ottomans understood the power of their location and turned geography into gold, transforming the empire into a financial powerhouse that Europe could not ignore. The Ottoman Empire didn't just rely on location, they mastered the art of trade. They understood something very few empires had ever realized: wealth flows through movement, and if you control the movement, you control the wealth. Across their vast lands, the Ottomans built a powerful commercial network designed to make trade easy, safe, and profitable. They constructed caravanserais, massive roadside inns placed every 20 to 30 kilometers, where merchants could rest, store goods, trade with others, and continue their journey without fear of bandits or harsh weather. These buildings acted as economic engines, bringing life to every region they touched. The empire then created an advanced customs and taxation system, where goods entering, passing through, or leaving the empire were taxed. But these taxes weren't random, they were carefully measured and predictable, giving traders confidence and attracting merchants from Persia, India, Arabia, Europe, and even Africa. To protect all this commerce, the Ottomans deployed soldiers and patrol units along trade routes, ensuring that roads remained safe, which further increased merchant traffic. As more traders chose Ottoman lands over rival territories, the empire's wealth multiplied. In this way, the Ottomans turned every road, every port, and every merchant into a source of profit, turning the flow of goods into a river of gold. The Ottoman Empire reached the height of its power and prosperity during the reign of Suleiman the Magnificent, a period often remembered as the empire's true golden age. Under his leadership, the empire expanded so dramatically that it touched 3 different seas and connected countless cultures, markets, and resources. Cities like Istanbul, Cairo, Damascus, Baghdad, and Alexandria became global trading capitals, overflowing with merchants from Europe, Asia, and Africa. Spices from India, silk from China, coffee from Arabia, gold from Sudan, and textiles from Persia all passed through Ottoman ports, and every transaction added wealth to the imperial treasury. Suleiman's administration was exceptionally organized. He introduced strict financial laws, standardized currency systems, and regulated market prices to ensure economic stability. With its borders secure and trade routes protected, the empire enjoyed a period of enormous prosperity. Istanbul became the beating heart of world trade, a city where Venetian bankers, Arab merchants, Jewish traders, Balkan farmers, and Anatolian craftsmen all exchanged goods and gold. During Suleiman's era, the Ottoman Empire wasn't just powerful, it was rich, confident, and deeply connected to global commerce. This age marked the moment when the Ottomans stood at the very center of the world's economy. While trade brought the Ottomans fame and international power, it was agriculture that formed the true backbone of their economic strength. The empire controlled some of the most fertile and productive lands in the world, from the wheat-rich plains of Anatolia to the agricultural heartlands of the Balkans, and from the lush fields of Syria to the overflowing farms of Egypt, often called the breadbasket of the empire. These regions produced endless supplies of wheat, barley, rice, fruits, olives, cotton, and sugar, ensuring not only food security but also a steady stream of tax revenue. At the center of this system was the Timar land administration, where the empire granted land to soldiers and local leaders in exchange for military service and tax collection. This created a perfect balance. The army stayed strong, the people were fed, and the government collected reliable income year after year. Unlike many empires that relied only on conquest money, the Ottomans built a sustainable economic structure that could support tens of millions of people. The strength of their land and agriculture kept markets stable, supported the army, and maintained the daily life of the empire. In many ways, these fertile lands were even more valuable than gold, because they produced wealth continuously, generation after generation. Beyond their vast lands, the Ottomans understood that true global power required control over the seas, and they invested heavily in building one of the strongest navies of their time. With powerful fleets stationed in the Mediterranean, Red Sea, and the Persian Gulf, the empire controlled the maritime routes that connected Europe to the riches of Asia and Africa. Ottoman admirals like Barbarossa turned the Mediterranean into an Ottoman lake, securing coastal cities, protecting merchant ships, and keeping rival European powers at a distance. By dominating key ports such as Alexandria, Izmir, Algiers, and Jeddah, the empire became the guardian of international sea trade. Spices from India, treasures from Africa, and textiles from the East all passed through Ottoman waters, and the empire imposed taxes, docking fees, and tariffs on the ships that relied on these routes. Control of the seas wasn't just about warfare, it was about money, influence, and global authority. With every ship that sailed under Ottoman protection, the empire's wealth grew. Their naval dominance transformed them from a land-based empire into a maritime powerhouse, ensuring that the flow of trade and the flow of wealth remained firmly in their hands. Behind the Ottoman Empire's immense wealth stood a powerful monetary system built on gold and silver. Unlike many medieval states where currency was unstable or frequently changed, the Ottomans maintained strong, trusted coins that circulated across 3 continents. Their primary currency, the akçe, and later the more advanced Ottoman lira, became widely accepted in markets from Eastern Europe to the Arabian deserts. Massive amounts of gold and silver flowed into the empire through trade, taxes, war tributes, and commercial fees, filling the imperial treasury in Istanbul. But the Ottomans didn't just collect wealth, they managed it with precision. The empire regulated minting, set standards for purity, and ensured that markets operated on reliable, predictable money. This financial stability encouraged foreign merchants, bankers, and investors to operate within Ottoman territories, boosting economic activity even further. In major cities like Istanbul, Aleppo, and Cairo, bustling marketplaces and grand bazaars became global centers of commerce, where coins from Venice, Persia, India, and Europe mixed freely with Ottoman currency. The strength of the empire's gold and silver economy allowed it to fund armies, build monumental architecture, and sustain a vast bureaucratic system for centuries. In many ways, the Ottomans didn't just rule land, they ruled the economic confidence of an entire region. But even the greatest empires cannot escape the tides of change, and the Ottoman wealth that once seemed unstoppable gradually began to fade. The first major blow came when European explorers discovered new sea routes around Africa, allowing ships to reach India and Asia without passing through Ottoman lands. This single shift redirected the world's most profitable trade away from the Silk Road and the Middle Eastern routes that had enriched the empire for centuries. Then came a flood of cheap silver from the New World, mines in the Americas that sent massive amounts of metal into Europe. This caused widespread inflation, weakening the value of the Ottoman currency, and eroding economic stability. Inside the empire, corruption started to infiltrate the administrative system, and the once efficient tax and land structures became disorganized. Meanwhile, Europe surged ahead with industrialization, building factories, machines, and new economic models that the Ottomans struggled to match. As global trade transformed, the empire's once strategic location mattered less, and its old systems failed to adapt fast enough. The decline wasn't sudden, it was slow, painful, and stretched over centuries. But eventually, the financial power that had once made the Ottomans the center of the world economy began to crumble, marking the end of an era. The story of the Ottoman Empire is more than a tale of battles, sultans, and palaces. It is the story of how intelligence, geography, and economic vision can build a civilization that shapes the world. For centuries, the Ottomans mastered the art of turning crossroads into opportunity and trade routes into rivers of wealth. They transformed cities like Istanbul, Cairo, and Baghdad into global financial centers, and created a system where agriculture, taxes, trade, and military strength worked together like pieces of a perfectly crafted machine. Even as the world changed and their dominance faded, the legacy of their economic brilliance continues to influence modern nations, borders, and global trade hubs. The rise and fall of the Ottoman economic power teaches us a lasting lesson. Wealth is not only about resources, it is about strategy, innovation, and the ability to adapt to the world's changing currents. The empire may have vanished, but the impact of its economic genius still echoes through history, reminding us how a small frontier state became one of the richest empires the world has ever known.